literally from a Black perspective, thinking of everything on a big scale,
Mm-hmm.
we have been left out of a lot of things. And me, I am past tired of it. Okay.
Mm.
And this looks like a strong possibility that we can position ourselves into something really phenomenal. Okay. And we are very tech savvy people. And and in particular, I'll say you and I are tech savvy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been doing a lot with Chat GPT on writing, and it's been a quantum leap from when I started, when I had my very first surgery to now. How much it's just changed. And I'm looking at it from a perspective of, I've got one more month left of rent and I'm broke. Okay.
Okay.
And so I am, doing my level best to try to, I've been trying to get monies for the last year,
Oh yeah, I
and
know. The
now my
first is
savings are
coming.
gone.
The first is coming too quick, way too quick.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
So,
And I
and
just got a letter
it's
that they're
very
increasing my rent for the record.
oh yeah, mine got increased to $1,735 a month.
Yeah, I'm
And
I'm
so
higher than that, child. So
and it's
yes.
like so thinking of that,
Hmm.
and then it's like if you've got skills at a great level, and if you do like a 3 month crash course in, you know, um learning this stuff that's coming out,
Hmm.
you can you can really have something even sooner than that. Because if you listen to the young brother that hosts the show, he did a replit stem from stem to stern, if you will, in 3 hours. But he said it was done for him in 15 minutes. And when you saw they delivered the water and to them at the studio, and he said, I didn't write any of that. And then he saw people that were already ordering from what he had done.
Hmm.
And he's like, oh my God, that has never been done before. Writing apps and you don't know how to do engineering and tech writing and STEM writing. You don't know any of that.
Right.
And you can do that now.
Vibe coding is the latest, the not the latest, but actually a real popular way to do that. Yeah, it's really amazing, and apparently the code that it makes is really good too.
Oh, it's no, it is phenomenal. I've been reading up on it for the past, probably since the beginning of the year,
Hmm.
because I was kind of like, I don't know if I can do that. And I was like, shit, I don't have to know how to do a damn thing.
Right.
It's here. And then when they said in the next 24 months, there are going to be jobs that you think you have,
Hmm.
that you may have today, that you think are safe, and they are not.
They're not. Many, so I think too
And
many
they will
people are going to
be
be surprised.
gone.
Yep.
It is mind-boggling when they said that they are going to replace anesthesiologists
Yeah.
with bots and nurses to just tweak the medicine in the ER. I'm like, what? That was that blew me away.
Yeah. Surgeons, lawyers, um,
Lawyers, accountants, they're
accountants,
done.
gone for that whole
They're
professional
done.
class. So when you talk about eroding the middle class,
Oh,
um,
it's toast.
yes,
Okay.
indeedy. Yes, indeedy.
And when they started saying, if you are, I started seeing people, I go shopping and stuff and get my groceries. And I started seeing everybody with EBT cards. I hope you have one.
Hmm.
Do you have an EBT card?
Of course.
Thank you. When I started seeing just people that I would see driving up in Ubers, driving up in Ubers or driving up in their Teslas with EBT cards,
Mm.
I'm like, or Rolls Royces and EBT. And I said, this is interesting. Then I heard if you are a family of four and you're making 87.4, That's poverty
That's
level in
poverty in
California.
California. That's true. I don't know
And
the
I
exact
said,
numbers, but yeah, it's something very much like that.
oh no, it is 87.4 with the family of four.
Hmm.
And I said, oh boy, we are about to get, now it's more because the fires kind of did a leveling system.
Oh
Okay.
man, that
The
was a big
fires
deal.
jacked everything upside down.
Right.
Okay. And so now we have
Well, let
and
me
schooling and everything.
let me
Listen,
share it.
I think I've sent this to you
Oh,
before where they have AI schools and the kids don't have teachers, they have monitors.
correct. Let me
So if
off.
you have
Let
a
me jump
question,
in. I just want to offer something. You talked about their use case. I want to hear more about your use case. You said that you were using AI in conjunction with writing, and I just wanted to know, like, what's your particular case study with? Um,
for instance,
yeah.
I started out putting text messages in just because I couldn't really think when I was in the hospital. Huh. So I just started dropping in text messages to see what it would do. Write a story, or what do you think about this? Or, you know, a little quicks from the news.
Okay.
And it would writing stuff back. And I thought, okay. So kept getting more involved as I got out of the hospital and started thinking of more things and thinking of the three storylines that I was writing on.
Hmm.
Well, at this point now, it's like I'm almost finished with one script
Wow.
because what they do is they really don't write your story for you. They just fish it out of your brain,
Hmm.
basically. And they like if I say something like, okay, well, I could read it, but
Well, let
the
me ask
things that
this because I'm
the things that
curious.
I have in there and the details that I have. And then they go, okay, well, that sounds like what you were asking about when you were asking me about a historical event. You could tie that historical event into this and that and this. And I said, that's exactly what I wanted to do. So they're kind of your muse.
Hmm. Do you have
And
it?
it's
Yeah.
go
Do
on,
you
go on.
do you also have it giving like I'm not familiar with script writing, so I'm curious. Does it also give you the instructions like cut shot here and
I already have that
other
in a
that
program that I have already.
non-dialogue content? It does all that for you
Right.
too. Okay, got
Yeah.
it. Yep, yep, yep.
I already have that. So that doesn't bother me. I more so anything is the script. That's the most important thing. And if you're talking about writing a script, you don't need direction, so to speak. Like you want to say interior day, exterior night, driving in a car, that kind of stuff. But directors are going to do their own thing and take that and do whatever they want with it. So you try not to be writing a director's script, if you will. So I already have a final cut that does that, which is industry standard.
So then what would be
But
next? Once you get the script finished, like what is the next step? Is it
the
something where
next
you would
thing is
use
then you got to
AI
go
to yeah, go ahead.
let people see it that you trust. And you have to get it registered first
Uh-huh.
with the Writers Guild of America so you can get a number so nobody will steal it from you.
Well, I think my question was a little bit different. Do you intend to use artificial intelligence to, let's say, I don't know anything about the script, so like to animate the characters or using AI voices, or for your use, it's more so the writing partner component that's most valuable?
Well, I have already done that on my own
Hmm.
before because these are things I've been working on for a long time. And so I kind of already do that anyway in my writing. And so I uh kind of infused and let them infuse the historical value um that I might not have. Like I would say, remember the bombings that happened when the girls got bombed at the school. So is going to do that, but he's going to do it in a different way. And this is how I want it to happen. And then they'll like fuse it together for me like that.
Hmm.
But that's still my idea. You know what I mean? And then we'll back and forth it. And then I'll come up with the final draft of that I want. And they'll go, oh my God, that is perfect. And it sounds just like me.
Mm.
I'm not taking something and asking it to do it for me because that's not I write. You know what I mean? And it would be so inauthentic for me because I wouldn't be able to tell that story. Now, what they're doing now is they're going to be telling inauthentic stories because they don't give a damn.
Hmm.
Because they're just going to they're going to eliminate writers, basically, is what they're going to do.
That's another
And so
industry where you're going to see job
that's the next
erosion.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I shift it a little
But
bit since we're talking about AI writ large? And I'll share my specific use case as well. But do you think that artificial intelligence is actually sentient, or is it just a really smart, you know, machine?
well, you know what? AI is artificial intelligence.
Right.
It's not so what they've done is they dumped all kinds of information in it
Hmm.
into this system, which is what they did with the World Wide Web, right? But the difference with this is it's kind of taken a mind of its own.
Hmm.
That's where the scary part comes in because what we're seeing now is a year ago they did a study where they put the ball down and they told the AI, okay, kick it. What's kick? Okay, kick is moving that leg and knee, da 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 da, right?
Hmm.
So about 3 months later, guess what? They figured out the game without being programmed. So now we're seeing the follow through of an idea. So in 2 years, guess what? Like he said, we're gonna have like discovering a new island with 1 billion people on it that have master's degrees and PhDs, and they'll work for 25 cents an hour. And you just have to say boo, and then they're gonna do everything from there. And then you'll be ready and you'll be able to have it.
Hmm.
That's gonna be the equalizing levelizer for us. But the thing is, it's got its own mind, but then what is it going to say? Well, we don't need you guys. What do we need human beings to for? That's the scariest part right now. That's why I'm saying we must get in on this right now to do everything that we can because 2 to 5 years from now, Elon Musk can't run everything. He can't have everything, and that's what they're doing. They're doing 100% dominance on this whole thing.
Hmm.
And we're getting the shaft end of it. Do you know the other day when Donald Trump was on TV and he had this apartheid bastard who, do you know that they own 63 million acres? The white 7% white apartheid Afrikaners own 63 million acres of South Africa. And 80% of South Africans own 4%
Wow.
of farmland. That's it. Nothing else. And the pictures that he showed were the genocide of South African Black women and said that these were white people that were getting killed by the government, the South African government. And it was a lie. And not one person's yelling and screaming. But if you say that two Jewish people this is terrible too, but two Jewish people got killed in DC by some nut
Hmm.
that were there for the whatever they were doing there for some conclave in DC.
But make the connection.
And
What am
now,
I what am I missing here? How does that connect to what we were talking about?
so wait a minute, there's so much fucking noise. I'm so distracted. So the connection is this: you've got a lying South African apartheid man that made his money starting in the 40s when apartheid came in.
In Elon Musk.
Say that again.
In Elon Musk, is that who you're referring to?
No, 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 no. We're
Oh.
talking before. We're talking now. I can hear you. We're talking about what happened the other day on the news.
Oh, the New York guy.
No, this guy came from South Africa, and he's a trillionaire. Okay, he's almost a trillionaire, and this is the 62 million acres that's owned by the 7 to 8% of South Africans, okay, South Afrikaners.
Hmm.
And Donald Trump had him at the White House showing pictures of people that were being slaughtered. They and said they were South Africans, Afrikaners, not South Africans who they were. They were black women that got murdered. But and no, and he goes, we have to stop this. And the president of South Africa sitting there dumbfounded, going, what is this? He was cold hot blindsided. Then you've got what happened 2 days ago. Two Israeli diplomats were in DC at a meeting. And now it's an atrocity. And everybody knows about it. And people are screaming, oh, this anti-Semitism has to stop. This is atrocity. That's the truth. It was an atrocity. There were 2 people killed. There are millions of Africans getting killed every day. And they're lying about it, and they're taking pictures and using it and saying that it's white people. And it's like, wait a minute, where is the problem here? So, see, our stories, bottom line is, our stories around the world are now being commandeered, and we are being eliminated across the board. So while we sit here with all of this intelligence and all of this everything going on, and nothing's being written about and nothing's being told about a story, or nobody is making money so that we can help our own people even. This is crazy. And that's why I'm like, you know what? We have to do something. I sent you something the other day about these 2 kids from Yale, I think they were, and
With
they wrote a
the
uh
LinkedIn killer or something like that.
no, 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 no. This is something different. These two young, they're like 21 years old, getting ready to graduate from Yale.
Hmm.
And they wrote a app, and they raised $3.4 million in like 3 weeks. And now it's like climbing the charts in the apps. And they did this at college. And
Yes,
it's like,
yes,
wow.
yes.
Okay,
Yeah, we
you
talked about
saw
that
that?
previously. The Yale students that built the I called it the Facebook killer, but they I'm looking at it now, the anti-Facebook startup. So it's supposed to take out
Yes.
what I've learned about this story is that, and as a YouTube content creator now, I'm
Uh-huh.
in the system, so understanding the algorithm, and there's a lot of questions
Hmm.
about the vanity between the number of subscribers you have and the actual popularity. Really complicated
Yes.
stuff, right? But ultimately, the idea that these social metrics that we measure ourselves on are really a vanity metrics and don't matter the way we think
Yeah.
they do. So these guys apparently are rewriting the algorithm that centers on the actual connections you have with people, which the current algorithm
Yes.
doesn't. The algorithm right now, as I understand it, is more focused on what can we put in front of you that would keep you watching the screen rather than what do we put in front of you that's most meaningful to you based on your connections.
Which is how Elon Musk rigged the system for Donald Trump to win this election.
Hmm.
You understand that? The algorithms got changed because all of a sudden we were hearing and seeing the numbers, and then all of a sudden everything got drastically changed. And he won, and it was like, wait a minute, because they changed the freaking algorithms. Everything's been changed. They even stopped the money stream that African American people that were on making a lot of money on, and their money stopped. Their money dried up exponentially, targeting them specifically.
Hmm.
So I was like, oh boy, now how is that going to work? So these young men got together and figured this out. That's pretty big. Okay. I think that's a really great thing. I would love to be able to do something like that to come up. So this is what I see, what I realize. You can sit there and come up with an idea and say, and by the way, these kids also use I think they used that guy's to do this. And if they didn't use it, they got some ideas from it. Okay. Because the one thing that I would not do that I found, like on is it called Upwork?
Mm-hmm.
I would never put my ideas in Upwork because did you hear them tell you about a guy that he surfs Upwork and then he sees somebody's work that's pretty good. And then what he does is he says, wait a minute, he gets their thing, puts it in that guy's uh, sim thing and goes through it. And he goes, look, I made your thing for you. And it's here. Just pay me $10,000 and you can run with it. He does that with 20 people's ideas. And how much money did he just make? See?
No,
I wouldn't want that to happen because that's a terrible thing. And that's what the guy was talking about, the environmentalist guy saying, well, that's stealing. Well, there are no ethics out here. I don't
correct.
want to do that. I want to make the money. I want to make, I want to become a wisdom person in this genre of tech.
Hmm.
Because listen, in 2 years, can you imagine what the fuck is that? Can you imagine what's going to happen to junior colleges?
Hmm.
Why do you have to have a junior college? Look what he's doing. Look what he's doing to, he told the president of Harvard, you can tell all of your foreign students to get out. They got to transfer. That's what he told them, or else you guys are going to lose all of your funding. See, we're dealing with something very, very, and then he's going to run the next time because he's still trying to jimmy the Constitution. And if we jimmy the Constitution, where are we going to be? See, he can't export us. But guess what? I also read. I know I'm jumping around conversations because I don't talk
I'm
to
tracking.
people
I'm
about my
tracking.
shit.
Yeah, just stay in the flow. I'm tracking articles and everything. So I'm with you.
Okay, good. So what he did when he started deporting people and shipping them off to pathetic, filthy El Salvador, that is so they're barbarians. Now he said he got the okay from his racist SCOTUS to deport 350,000 people from Venezuela.
Hmm.
350,000. So now he's got 50 Africans that he came over here and said, oh, it's because it's genocide happening over there. There is no genocide in South Africa. There are no white people being murdered in South Africa. But guess what he also said quietly under his breath?
Hmm.
I'm going after the gangs next. And guess what? He said, start building more jails because I'm putting them in jail.
Wow.
In El Salvador, in Venezuela, all the most filthiest, most degrading jails in the world. And then he said,
You're
I
saying, wait,
might
wait, wait.
ship
You're
them
saying that
to
Trump
Africa.
wants to build prisons in El Salvador?
More. There are jails already in El Salvador, which is where they put those guys that they had here and they shipped them there. And they're like, wait a minute, though, we were here on legal visas and everything. They're like, I don't care.
Hmm.
They shipped a baby that was born here 2 months ago. They shipped her out. They said, well, go with your mama. We don't want you here. We don't
Hmm.
want your baby. They're trying to say if you married a woman from another country, go with her. This is
Hey,
how
they're
barbaric.
keeping the families together.
Yeah, keep them together. Yeah,
We're not
keep them
breaking up
together.
families. No, no, no. They all get to go.
Can you imagine?
Right, right.
This is barbaric.
Hmm.
And then they look at black people and go, you guys keep it up. We're gonna just put you guys back in chains. So it doesn't matter because guess what? Now, oh, this is really rich.
Hmm.
Look up FAMU. They're looking for a new chancellor. They found one. She's a black Republican. She does not have an advanced degree.
Hmm.
She's not. She has no experience in running a university. So she is a Trump supporter. and a supporter of not Marco Rubio. What's the man's down there? That's the governor.
DeSantis.
Thank you, just Satan.
Uh, uh,
He
uh, uh,
is.
uh,
But guess what? You know what he's doing?
Hmm.
This is the thing that they're doing. This is a test ground for them to destroy Black universities. And they're going to say, guess what? This is unconstitutional. We told you you can't have, there are no DEI. You're teaching about Black history. We told you we've rewritten Black history.
You said it's a
None
new
of this stuff.
woman in charge of
What?
FAMU? I don't see
This
her.
Black woman, but she's new. And I want to call her Mavis, but check it out. I sent you the thing with Roland
FAMU.
Martin. Oop, boy, Roland's pissed. But look it up. FAMU.
Mm-hmm.
And she is the new appointee. This job pays $785,000 from 425 to 785. She makes like $250,000 a year.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think I found
And
her. Marva Johnson.
DeSantis is going to run. They're going to close that school.
Hmm.
They're going to close it one by one. They're going to knock off these schools. Okay. They're trying to eliminate Black education. That's why I'm like, you guys. And you know, when I think back at Daddy, when Daddy went on the Today Show talking about education and how it has to change, he was way before his time. And he was correct. Even though he went to jail when he came back because he wasn't supposed to leave. But he did go back to prison, unfortunately. Well, it was an honor ranch because he violated his parole and he went on TV. Anyway, but he said we have to do non-traditional schooling because the schools weren't giving the right education and they weren't doing all this. And the FAMU thing is exactly that. But my point is there are a lot of things that are happening, and they're happening in 12 every day. There's something new, 12 different ways to Sunday, and it's all negative. And then there's money behind it that's being taken away from us. So that's when I got excited about this. And I said, you know what? I can think just anything. I can just think of something. This guy thought of a delivery service. And they delivered water on the set. And he had a bunch of people placing orders.
Let me speak to that because I do have some thoughts on this AI agent thing. And while I'm thinking about it, let me just give a quick shout out to Linda McMahon, who was recently interviewed and was referring to it as A1, the A1 in the classrooms.
Right.
But anyway,
wow. I was like, no, that's A1 sauce.
Yeah, I thought she was talking about steak sauce for a minute. I was like, wait, I had to really figure it out. Yeah. So anyway,
man.
what were we talking about? I just forgot. Try to shout out my girl Linda. The agents. Okay, so as I understand it, just to kind of lay some groundwork, the AI is a tool. So it could be your writing partner, it could generate images, it could do, your books, all of that, analyze data, all of that stuff. Cool. But then along comes the agent, which is now using AI not as a respondent to a prompt, but it actually will start initiating tasks. And so as he mentioned, he used the agent, and the agent, found where the water was, placed an order, accessed his financial account, completed the transaction on his behalf, and then gave special instructions to the delivery guy. Let me go back to that. In terms of how to bring it into the studio set, this is so there's two things that I want to mention that come up for me in this context. On the one hand, I say this is only going to continue to make the bad situation worse. What do I mean by that? we're already socially anxious. We're already, generally speaking, illiterate and innumerate. We're
Yeah.
already emotionally fragile as a society writ large.
Hmm.
And so now
Hmm.
we have these AI agents which are taking away, pun intended, our agency to actually do
Hmm.
anything. It's doing it all for us. So
Hmm.
we just see, which is kind of an homage to the other video that you sent me from Mo, the future of AI and how it will shape our world. It's going to shape
Hmm.
us as human beings because we
Hmm.
are dependent more and more on it. So that's my first thought, right? Is that our psychology, our mental capacity, our grit is all becoming more and more atrophied with the advent of these AI agents.
100%.
And number two, I
Yes.
have serious concerns about these privately owned companies that we are going to give access, unregulated and unmonitored access to our bank account information, our email. It'll send an email on our behalf. It'll
Yep.
schedule meetings on our behalf. It's going to do all of these things at
Yep.
the literal flip of a switch, and they're being
Yep.
owned. All that capacity is owned by privately held organizations, and I'm
Yep.
very concerned about that.
Hmm.
So those two things really have me uh I'm really stuck because on the one hand it's ultra convenient, we love
Hmm.
convenience, but on the other
Hmm.
hand we're constantly and consistently giving up parts of ourselves and turning over that authority to the machine. I'll close with this idea. I wish that we treated these things more as utilities. If it was acknowledged that this was a public good and these companies did this work
Hold
on
on.
our
Hold on.
behalf.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hi. Yeah. Take me home, or are you gonna take me around the world like the other guy did last time?
Let me see if I can
Thank you. Okay.
oh, I can only
All
mute
right.
myself.
Wait a minute. I was
How can
3.5 hours getting home last Friday. It was awful. Okay. Okay, that's how I'm going.
no, I think I was landing my plane with the idea that I wish.
I agree.
Mm,
I agree with you. Mm, mm,
oh,
mm.
yeah, yeah, about being a public utility. I wish that was the effort
So,
through
can I
which we
press
were
you
building
guys?
these things. Should I go on mute or
Up a
you
little.
good right now?
No, 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 no. Go on. But you're in my ear. But this is the situation that I think the way to combat that is to get involved.
Right.
Because if we sit back and aren't involved, and learning it more from the ownership perspective versus the consumer perspective,
Mm,
we can talk about how bad it is all day, but this is going to be the leveling field of participation and ownership versus participation in, like Amazon. We're just participants. But this way is to be part of the ownership by being the owner
hmm.
of whatever it is that we need to do. That's my knee-jerk response.
Right.
That was my knee-jerk response when I heard about it.
Are you
And
familiar
then
with Stefan Youngblood? You must have gone to
no,
one of his conferences.
I'm sure I
I'm gonna
have.
send you something. This guy speaks your language. Hold on, let me see if I
Okay.
can find him on LinkedIn. He just had his last conference, but here we go. Top of my feed. Thank you, LinkedIn algorithm. Let's see if I can get the link. The whole crew is coming. I wish I could be there, but I'm just not committed to it this year. Stefan Youngblood runs the Black AI Literacy Week,
Hmm. I'm
and
familiar.
I wish that the link was on this post. How you gonna do that, bro? Come on, bro. You could do better than that. Let me go to Stefan. He did a promotion post, but he didn't actually link to the event so people could register. Let's go to Stefan's page. I'm sure he'll have it. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Here we go.
I follow him.
Yeah, he's good. He's doing this week, and I want you to register. I'm pulling the link right now, and I'm gonna drop it on you.
Okay.
Copy. He and I worked together on it at last year's. This is his second annual, and
Mhm,
it was really good. So let me
mhm,
drop this on you, and you should be able to register there. It's a simple Google form, but it'll give you access to the Zoom link. And he's
mhm,
doing, when you get a chance to see the what do you call that? The agenda. When you go to a
mhm,
conference, they have all the concurrent sessions and whatnot. It's good
mhm,
stuff,
mhm.
powerful stuff. All black. Let me not say that. It is the Black AI think tank, so it's dominated by black leaders in the space. Across the spectrum of artificial intelligence, and I think you should let your voice be heard over there.
That's my main concern because this young good kid that's doing the Diary of a CEO,
Oh yeah, I like that guy.
um, and the people he interviews, the person that started the AI, Chat GPT, his name is Mo Gadat. You, I know I've sent you his stuff. This guy is brilliant on a whole other level. He's an Egyptian guy,
Mhm.
brilliant guy. And what he found out about what AI and what the whole
Hey, are you
situation did.
watching the guy that does the Diary of a CEO? He has a second channel, something like Behind the Diary or whatever, where they do like a bunch of
Yes.
behind the scenes stuff. I like those two. I think it's a really
Mm-hmm.
smart.
Everything he does, I am just, and I've been watching him since my first surgery.
Hmm.
So I've been watching him for a long time
Yeah.
because his guests were always very fascinating to me,
Right.
health wise and wise and everything, tech wise, all kind of stuff. But he's got a lot. He's got a lot of investment capital,
Oh yeah,
which I
yeah,
think
yeah.
is really
I mean, he
good.
was
He's
rich
got a
before
lot.
he became this guy, with the tech company that he started. So he's doing
Right.
great.
Right.
He's doing
But I
great.
don't
But one
know.
of the things
I
that I
don't know
appreciate about
how.
his channel is that, because like you, I've been watching him for a while, and I've seen how his channel has evolved and grown
Oh,
over
big.
time, and it really encourages me, because right now I have a super
It
simple
should.
set. I have like this old camera that I use as my document camera when I was in the classroom, but
Mhm, mhm.
over time I'll grow. Have you seen Homeroom, by the way? You need to cut. I don't know what time you wake up. Are you an early riser?
Is 4 o'clock early enough?
4 o'clock is early enough. You could catch me live. I live stream on YouTube now, 4 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's called Homeroom. I'm actually going to pull some of the stuff that you brought in here into Homeroom. Not
Yeah.
next week because I'm on this theme, but a lot of this stuff is super good. So yeah, I say all that to say, as I've seen him grow and other people grow from some sort of humble beginnings through consistency and having high quality experience, I'm like, okay, if
Mhm,
these guys can
mhm.
do it, I know I can do it.
Listen, I have no qualms about that whatsoever. But see, the thing is, it's the people that you have surrounding you.
Yeah.
It's the support system. It's the partnerships that you make. That's why I was telling you about the guy that's a biochemist like you, and he does STEMs classrooms,
Yeah,
and
awesome
he's got,
stuff.
and then the other people that I have hooked you up with. Listen, that's your sweet spot
Let me see if I can
because
find that.
you're great with biochemistry. Your brain works perfectly well in things that fascinate people. That's your brilliance. That's why I was telling you, listen, don't let these people try to trip you up and talk about, oh, I blame myself for the kids not being. Listen, you have nothing to do with it because you know what? That's all a part of the plan to destroy the brains of young children so that they can be the bots that they want to control,
Hmm.
and they don't care about a system of government, the process, or constitution. None of that stuff matters. I just want to be able to go and get in an Uber and drive, and you know what I mean,
Yeah.
and just order food and go smoke some pot, hang out with my friends at concerts, and pay $200 for a concert ticket. I was talking to a girl in therapy, and she said, I paid $35 to go see SZA in my first concert. I just paid $200 to go see SZA. And I was like, well, see, okay. But again, that's her wheelhouse. It's important to her. I'm just looking at her and I'm like, child, you have no idea what's coming down the pike.
Mm.
But again, that's what I'm saying. Your expertise has to be shown versus our situations that we have that are very frightening. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I don't want to concentrate on that, but I have to. But I'm like, yeah, but there's some other stuff. And you know what? My circle is very small because my friends are they're wealthy because they inherited money.
Mm.
They're wealthy from inheritance. They inherited homes, money, businesses from their deceased parents. So again, I don't think they want to talk about dating.
Talk about
See,
what?
dating
Who?
after after divorce. And I'm like, are you guys serious right now?
Who are you? Wait, who are you referring to?
My friends that are in my
Oh, that have.
work, in
Yeah, I
my
got you.
circle,
Okay.
that are not in my circle anymore because I'm like, you guys understand that the world is burning and you guys are okay with that?
Well,
I'm like confused. I don't care. Mama and daddy never were comfortable because if their neighbor's hurting, that means they were hurting too. And you wanted to do something to help your neighbor. That's not. They used to give our card to the Catholic Church. We've got 9 people in the house. Friday night to Sunday morning, they gave one card to the church so they could go and do their shopping and their thing. And we didn't even care. We just did our schoolwork and housework and daddy barbecued and
hmm.
played in the street with our friends. You know what I mean? They wouldn't do that now. So that's what it's saying.
Hmm.
There are things that are happening that's not happening. It's all about getting money. The Diddy thing,
Child, I don't even want to talk about it. Can we please?
no, but I'm not saying it from the standpoint of the obvious.
Right.
I'm saying it from the obvious. Okay, because it was limited to everybody's everything. Like who's the other one? Smokey Robinson, 85 years old.
Poor
They got
Smokey.
him.
Poor Smokey.
But see, they're getting them. They're getting them. They're getting them.
Oh,
They're
they
getting
getting
them.
them. They giving
Again,
them a hard time.
see, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But they thought they were something else. They thought they were bigger.
That part though, that
Oh,
part,
see,
my favorite book talks about it. I'm committed to staying humble on this journey because you can get caught up real quick, real quick.
I mean,
Um,
I love that Chris Brown was in jail because he got in a fight last year, and they put him in jail. They let him out on $6.1 million bail in London so he could do his concert. That's $6.1 million. What?
mm,
See, again, too big, too big. You think you're somebody that you aren't. Again, that's why I want the intelligence to come out and the ownership of something that matters. Rihanna hasn't stopped thinking that she is a billionaire, a bona fide billionaire. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what is happening for real to be good and progressive and to meet the challenges that are in this century. Do you know that Tycho will be 18 in 10 years?
girl, don't I know it?
Excuse me, not 10, because his birthday's
He'll
in
be
July,
he'll be
right?
9 next month or next couple of months. So
So,
yeah,
so what are we talking about?
yeah, he's halfway there, halfway to adult.
So, what are we? So,
Right.
so gong that went off in my head. I was like, do you know where he would be in that time?
Little Chubby has come quite a long way. He has his own real ID now. He got his own leather wallet, got keys to the house. He's just growing up so fast, so fast.
Well, that's life. It's real.
Hey, to God be the glory. I stand in deep
Exactly.
gratitude for whatever time I have with him. It's a blessing and a
He can
privilege.
be everything.
Yeah.
He can be everything. And you have to drown him in all of the everything good. That's
Amen.
how you get him and keep him solid, not in the foolishness.
He's got I am you didn't come. Oh, but I sent you the pictures. Yeah, he's got the
Yeah,
armor. I have watched him put on the armor. So while he's still
good.
a child, but fundamentally deep in his heart, he's armored up. So I'm excited to see, because I mean, I'm at the point now where it's starting to become, I'm starting to, how do I say, remove the scaffolds, and he's really starting to
Oh,
make some of his own wise
just loosen
decisions.
them. Don't remove them.
Loosen
Just
them.
loosen.
Yeah, a few of them.
He's not a teenager yet.
No, I
That's
actually had a
another
meeting with
thing.
his principal, and his principal and the principal's son and my son are like school buddies, right? Pretty good school buddies. And so I
Ramona's not the principal, is she?
no, 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 no. Actually, I met her and we spoke about you. They had
Okay,
a teacher
good.
appreciation event, and she came and did a little cameo or whatnot. So I made sure
Mhm.
I volunteered on that day and made sure to introduce myself, and she was excited to hear your name.
I love
Yeah, she was great. But no, the principal's name is Neely. Mr. Neely is the principal now.
her.
And
Mhm.
anyway, I pulled
Okay.
him to the side and was like, "What do you think? Should I, you know, this way or that way?" He was like, "No, stay on him. I'm doing the
Mhm.
same, but stay on your son." I was like, "You got it.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Appreciate the advice." Yep.
Good. Because I'm telling you, see, Florian and I, before he died, we had an extremely deep conversation about him.
Hmm.
And it was a conversation for until he turns 30. Okay. And so I'm always on, but other things that won't be recorded. So I need to talk to you
Sure.
about. Anyway,
Well,
go on.
it's about 10 minutes to two. I do need to get off of here. Um, how long until you get back? What's your ETA looking like?
I'm on my, I'll be home in probably like 10 minutes. I'm on the
Oh,
way.
that's not far at all. Well, I
And
guess we can hang for a little
no,
while. Yeah.
because I really need to talk to you about this next subject.
Okay. Well, I will
It's,
share this. I mentioned it earlier and I'll share now my particular use case for artificial intelligence. So I am um, still leaning more on human capital than the technology capital. So I'm spending far more time in partnership with other people to build this out. But where I am using artificial intelligence really is as my research partner as well. So I'm not using it to
mhm,
write per
mhm,
se, but it is a thought
mhm,
partner. It does help organize my things. It gives me a lot of advice on the development of the
mhm,
business. Um,
mhm,
and in terms of like the content that I use for some of my live events, the research and the articles, a lot of that does come from artificial intelligence.
absolutely.
So it's a source
Mhm.
and also a bit of a business advisor, are kind of my two main tasks.
Good.
I have been
And an organizer because
big
it can
time.
be the project management
It is
tool
kind of my
as
project
well.
manager, right? Um,
Hmm.
what it is, what in terms of the business, I'm happy to report that I have raised a little bit of money. I have a comma behind my business account now, so that's a good
I'm
step.
very, very happy to hear that.
And I haven't used any of the funds, right? But it's getting that time where I'm ready to start pouring the money I've raised back into the business. And so I'm plotting on which AI tools I want to actually subscribe to,
Mm,
and using
mm,
it. So in some ways, I think I'll be accelerating the business once I get some of these more advanced AI tools. Um, get those accounts open. So I'm curious. I'm thinking about either using like a video editing
mhm,
software to give me shorts at a much faster rate, and that way I can
mhm,
post stuff
mhm,
there and spread the word.
mhm.
The other one that I've thought about, because YouTube University is great, and most content
Hmm.
creators talk about how important it is for the thumbnail and the title. So I thought
Hmm.
about getting some software to generate my thumbnails and titles, or hiring out. There's a woman who does some pretty good AI design work. And so I'm also considering contracting out and having someone do that for me, because I've learned that I can't do it all. If I'm going to be the personality on the mic and the talking head bringing the stories, I cannot also be the thumbnail designer and the marketer and the web designer and I can't do all of that. So if I can stay in my lane, but have a
Hmm.
team, like you mentioned, having the highest quality team, which, and I'll close with this, brings me back to the Diary of a CEO. The first episode that I watched of that Behind the Diary
Hmm.
channel was about that. He said the most important thing is
Hmm.
your first 10
The
hires.
team. Yeah.
It will make or break. So I'm trying to be very
Well,
mindful and
that's
careful
what
of that.
Replit will be replacing with Replit, with what you're talking about exactly now.
Tell me
I
more, and
know,
then we can get off the
I
line.
will,
Yeah.
I will, but Replit will do that exactly. Fiverr also is another one we should look at for that. It's cheaper
I thought about
and it's
Fiverr
something.
for some projects, but I don't know. I had one or two bad experiences with Fiverr
Mhm,
out of maybe two or three experiences with Fiverr, and they weren't
mhm.
really
Well, I'll
favorable.
look
So I
into
just
it.
have a
I'll look into it.
yeah, yeah, that'll be
I'll
good.
look into it. Yeah, well, I'll be home, like I said, 5 minutes, but because there's something pressing that I haven't spoken to anyone about. I
Okay.
need to discuss with you.
Well,
So,
yeah, we could do that
all right,
offline once you get home. Let's catch back
right,
up.
okay.
All right.
Okay, love you.
Love you. Bye. All right, guys. So this was a pop up, professional development, but this is one of my plugs for the latest information. So just in summary, should put me on to Replit. I heard about it, but it was. Let me go back to this. The guy from this show, is it going? It might be going. Yeah, it might be going. Yeah. Anyway, the guy from the Diary of the CEO with the red jacket, um, he, I guess, founded Replit. So anyway, there's that. This is Mo. Mo is the guy who used to be an executive level over at Google or something, and now he is more of an ethicist and a trumpet for what's going on out there in them streets, them AI streets. We talked about Replit, Yale University. She mentioned these guys who are building what might be the next great app. So we'll see about that. Harvard and their ability to enroll international students. So we had a little bit of a discussion on Trump and his influence on private education. We talked about that in homeroom, if you will remember. Um, and so you'll have to come to homeroom to check that out, because I'm not going too far into all of that. I should not be closing these windows. Let me go back. Trump wants to set up prisons in El Salvador and then house U.S. citizens in El Salvadorian prisons, according to this news report. So that's hot news. FAMU, something about FAMU. I don't know where she was going with this, but I don't think this is the exact story that she was talking about. More about this woman here. Marva Johnson is the president, which is a Trump loyalist. So another step in education. Very interesting. She mentioned Nafis Norris. This guy is a STEM biochemist, and he does looks like he does programming, introducing young people to science, tech, engineering, and math. She wants me to really link up with this guy, and maybe I can do a feature with him and what he does. Maybe we could talk science. That'll be fun. And then poor Smokey Robinson, right? She wanted to get into the Diddy thing. I didn't want to get into that, but then she invoked Smokey Robinson's problems, and it just pulled on my heartstring a little bit. So shout out to Smokey. I don't know nothing about the case, so I just want to be clear about that. But just hearing that another one of my musical heroes is caught up in this is makes me feel some type of way. So I'll put it that way. All right, so now I'm gonna close this. I'm figuring it out, guys. I know this was a very pop up, but I like how this screen is split. I think I have to go back and review it, but I think this is a much easier way for people to see what I'm talking about, a better YouTube experience. So I will need to work out, as you can see, it's kind of cut off and all that. So I'll figure that part out. But shout out, because I think I can do this better and better. All right, guys. I don't have no agenda or no thoughts. Don't mind my my boots in the back. But I will catch up with you guys. Comments, questions, concerns, I would appreciate it. Any feedback, as I'm still in my experimental phase, bringing you the best and highest quality content that I can in the personal and professional development space. I'm going to land this plane because if you're watching by now, you kind of know what it is. Peace.